And she sat there in my fucking face after I said that I liked you, like everything was sweet.
Is she fucking stupid though? You can like the same fucking boy. We're in the same fucking house. Obviously I'm going to sat in front of her. Where do you want me to go? Fuck off.
Do I think the right people went home? I'm a bit conflicted. I really am. Because I would have preferred Helena and Ben go home. If you're asking me for my honest opinion, I would have preferred Helena and Ben go home. Just because Helena, I think everything she's doing at the moment, she's doing it for the drama. She's doing it so that she stays relevant in the villa. Because if she had coupled up with Jogo, her chances of going home were highly likely. So at least if she's part of the mix in a love triangle somewhere, then she stays in the villa because production will want to follow the storyline. And then Remell. Somebody forgot to tell him about Alima's karma. Blue tried to play her and he went home. Shay called her a horrible name. He found his way out of Spain. And now it's Remell. I guess all the boys need to be on watch. They need to understand that you just don't get to say what you want about someone and get away with it. And now they know. Hopefully now they know. I would have preferred, Helena and Ben to go home. But anyway, there's always next time. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island UK, Season 12, Episode 19. So we pick up after the Yasmin and Ben confrontation where they've had the conversation and Ben has stormed off and Yasmin has gone and spoken to Tony. So you have Ben now in the kitchen with the guys. He's venting. He's very upset. He feels like, Yasmin is wanting from him what he can't give her. At the end of the day, he's entitled to explore connections, so he can do what he wants. And if he feels there's nothing there, then he can keep it stepping. After all, then he starts to badmouth her. And it's like, why are you badmouthing her? She hasn't insisted that she wants to be in a couple with you. You said you don't want to be in a couple, you're done. And she said, fine, let's keep it stepping. So why are you dragging her through the mud? Will that make you feel better about yourself? I have a feeling he thought if he told Yasmin, let's call it quits, she would beg him to say, okay, no, please don't. Let's keep it going. Let's keep trying. And because she didn't say that, now he doesn't know what to do with himself. And Yasmin is sitting with the girls and saying, I've got attachment avoidance, that's my attachment style. So I am not really invested in that connection. I'm not really bothered that we've broken up. It serves me no purpose either way, whether we're together or we're not. I can keep it stepping. And so the fact that she seemed unbothered by it, I feel is what bothered Ben. And this is why he was venting in the kitchen. And you had the guys, you had Remell tell him, this is not a good look for you. If I were you, I would keep quiet because this won't end well for you. And it's like, why won't it end well? We've all seen him for who he is. The girls need to believe him. He coupled up with Shakira on day one, didn't want to be with Shakira, was sort of making slight remarks about Shakira, was stolen by Tony. And then when he realized that he couldn't railroad Tony, he started bad-mouthing Tony. And they split. He went back to Shakira. When Shakira said, you don't stimulate me intellectually, he bad-mouthed Shakira and then jumped onto the Yasmin train. And now he's bad-mouthing Yasmin. So every woman has a problem bar him. This is my opinion of Ben. I feel Ben has some level of insecurity about his level of intellect. Somebody must have I've either teased him or bullied him about it at school. And he must have struggled to get girls irregardless of how he looks as well. And so the idea that girls are refusing sort of to be in a couple with him or are not fawning over him is something that is not sitting well. The idea that they're calling out his weak area that is trying to avoid and sort of try to cover up is not sitting well. And this is why he says all the nasty things he says about the girls. You have Dijon and Meg come and join the girls because they were on the day beds. And the girls are asking Dijon and Meg, what was he saying? And Dijon said, oh, I don't know. He was just waffling. I just shut down and I didn't bother to listen to what he was saying. And that tells you that everybody knows that he's an empty vessel that's just making a lot of noise, in my opinion. I don't mean to say something offensive, but here we are. You have Tommy sit down for a chat with Jogo, and Tommy's sort of asking him, how's your connection going with Helena? Where do you stand? And he says, I'm open to getting to know her. I think she's an amazing girl, but I know for a fact that she's still got a connection with Harry, so she's going to be exploring that as well. So it's just a matter of seeing where the chips lie at the end of the day. And it's like, buddy, if I were you, I would look at the single girls in the villa. I would start exploring with other girls because at the end of the day, you're lucky that you're brought to the villa. You're given this opportunity. Explore explore connections or wait for a bombshell and find your person and find your place in the chaos that is the villa. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself on the next plane back to Sydney. You have Harry sit down for a conversation with Helena, and he's sort of saying to her, where do we stand? Because even the girls on the daybeds were like, why is he pulling her? And Shakira said, yeah, I do know. He said he was going to speak to her because he wants them to be on a friendship basis. And so for her to say, well, I can't have bits of you. It's either I have all of you or I don't. And it's like, you brought Jojo here to make Harry jealous. It didn't work. So what are you going to do next? Because you're complaining that he's giving Shakira everything that she wants, but he wasn't able to give that to you. He lost respect for you the moment he called you out for saying that you did the Eiffel Tower. So the idea that you think he'll have any respect, the idea that you continue to want him back is a waste of time, really. It really is a waste of time. You then have Tommy sit down for a chat with Emily. What do I think? I think they're just doing that because they know they're the two single people. And so they're hoping either they spark a connection amongst the two of them or they make their partners jealous and then they can explode their partners again. But I don't think there's anything romantically there. For her to say, oh, you're a very good guy, you're the type of guy that I would want, he showed this level of immaturity with some of the things that he's done. So I don't know exactly what you think is amazing about him. The fact that he was trying to challenge all the guys who were speaking to his girl and trying to intimidate them as though, he was in control of what she did, didn't make sense. So the idea that you think he's a great guy, good for you. You have the girls, Alima, Shakira, Tony, and Meg sit down for a conversation, and the girls are asking Alima, where do you stand when it comes to Remell? Is there any chance you could still explore something there? And she says, no, we're done. We're done, because he failed to apologize. He failed to take responsibility for his actions. So I don't see anything there. And I love that Tony was open enough to say to her, I just want to give you a heads up. This is what he's been saying to the guys. Harrison told me that he's been telling the guys that it's a pity he didn't bring Poppy back. He wishes he had brought Poppy back. It's like, that's a punch below the belt. Because at the end of the day, he didn't bring Poppy back. This is where he is. He needs to take responsibility. I think he wanted a girl like, what's her name? Oh God, Dijon's Meg, whereby he could do whatever he wanted and then come back and she would still take him. And yet Alima didn't do that. This is why he's upset. You have the islanders get ready for the night, and you have Helena complaining that, she wants either all of Harry or not. She's not going to put up with whatever. And it's like, madam, you brought a man. We haven't even seen you talk to your man. Go and speak to your man. Remell is saying to the guys, he's going to move the way he's always done. He's going to be true to himself and he doesn't care what anybody else thinks. Well, buddy, you're on the next flight out of Spain. On her part, you have Alima saying she's going to stay in the bed with Remell just to be the bigger person. And it's like, good for you. Everybody goes to bed. And surprisingly, it was only Shakira and Harry and Tony and Harrison that were making out in bed. Everybody else seems to be in friendship couples. So in the morning, you have Dijon asking, Alima, how was your night? Alima is very quiet. I think Alima was feeling under the weather because even when the other islanders got up, you saw her stay in bed. So I think she was feeling under the weather. They ask Yasmin. Yasmin says she's in a good space. She just needed a good night's sleep, which is good. And then you have the guys making coffees, and Ben is busy saying, I didn't mean to call, Yasmin irrelevant, but it's just, I didn't like the way she was behaving. You then have a mini debrief where you have Shakira, Tony, and Yasmin on the terrace. And Yasmin is saying, of all the people to sort of really talk to her badly, she's not bothered by Ben because she really, emotionally, there was nothing there. And personally, I feel like that's what happened. She realized she couldn't pick Shay again, especially after the names had called her. So this is why she picked Ben, because he was the only unattached guy, because Shakira had picked Harry. It wasn't that deep, as she says, so I get it. And then you have at the fire pit, you have Dijon sitting with Ben, and he's sort of saying to Ben, it's unacceptable what happened with you and Yasmin. And he goes, she was piping up. And Dijon is right to say, you can't personalize situations. Just because you've got an issue with someone, it doesn't need to go below the belt. And this is what this man does. He did the same thing with Tony. He did the same thing with Shakira. He's now done the same thing with Yasmin. So he's always going below the belt. You have on the other side, on the day beds, you have a conversation between Jojo and Tommy, and Tommy is busy saying that he had a little spark with Emily, so he's thinking of exploring that. And it's like, hey, if that's what you want to do, it is what it is. You suddenly have Helena walk across to Harrison and pull him for a chat. I think Helena likes the attention of unavailable men. I feel like she gets a kick out of chasing men that don't want her. And on her pyramid, I think number 1 is Harry, number 2 is Harrison, and then whoever else comes underneath that. But she knows they're in couples with some people and they're happy in those couples, but she still wants to sort of see if she can get the boys' attention. They spoke about the fact that she's in a couple with Jojo, but she's not feeling anything there. There's no spark, so she was thinking of breaking things off. And it's like, so why are you telling Harrison? Are you trying to open the door for Harrison to step into you? Can you not see that Harrison went on a date yesterday with Tony and they came back and they seemed very happy? Harrison likes the flirting. He really does. I think he gets a kick from flirting with her. You have Tony sitting, with, I think she was sitting with Emily, and she's moaning that why is, Helena going after my man? If she has a man of her own, why is she going after, Harrison? She should be exploring with the person she brought back from the villa, from the sleepover. And it's like, well, I don't think that sort of sinks in for her. I think for her, as far as she's concerned, she's going to chase your man until she gets him, which is really sad. You have Helena and Harrison have this conversation about going to the hideaway. And it's like, this woman is very insecure. For someone who's 29 years old, she's very insecure. Why does she keep wanting to take other people's guys to the hideaway? And yet when everybody else does that, it's a big deal. When Yasmin and Harry went to the hideaway, it was such a big deal. But she's okay to go to the hideaway with somebody else's guy. And she actually initiated the conversation about going to the hideaway. I didn't like that. You then have Shakira she came in and she was busy telling Tony, be mindful of this situation because I don't want you to be played by Harrison. You don't need to put all your eggs in, his basket, because at the end of the day, he's going to play you and he's going to leave you and then you're going to be vulnerable. And sadly for Tony, I think Tony has developed feelings for this little boy, so she's not listening to whatever's being said. Yasmin went and pulled Jojo for a chat. I think they make a cute couple. The fact that he kept commenting on her posture is something else. I remember Malaysia did an interview where she also spoke about that posture. They could be a cute couple, in my opinion, because he could mellow her, because she seems like she just needs someone who's a strong base for her and then she can do whatever she wants, someone who's accepting and is open-minded. So they could be a cute couple. I love them as a couple. You then have Tony go for a chat to the fire pit with Harrison, and she's not happy because of the fact that, she saw this conversation with Helena. She wants to find out what they were discussing because she wants to know whether she has reason to worry. Yes, she did bring up the things that Shakira said. I don't know how I feel about that. I think maybe she shouldn't have said it, but at the same time, it's important for her to gain clarity from her guy. I love that Harry was defending Shakira when that conversation ended, because Harrison then called Shakira to say, Shakira, come here. I think he expected Shakira to cower down and sort of say, no, I didn't say that. But Shakira came and stood on business, and I said, yeah, she's my friend. I want to make sure that you really like her and you're not just telling her what you feel she wants to hear. Do you like her or do you not? And so you had Tony saying, oh, he's speaking to Shakira because Shakira, was busy saying these things in my ear. I want her to be cheering me up, not for her to be telling me things that I don't want to hear. And Harry was saying, no, she's not being malicious or vindictive. She's just trying to sort of look out for your best interests. And it's like, a man who likes you will do anything to make you happy. The fact that you have Harry fighting Shakira's battle and making sure that these girls remain friends, as compared to Helena, who's pulling every other guy in the villa and begging them to like her, is totally different. So I love that for them. I really do. You then have Helena on the day beds. She is speaking to Connor and Emily, and she's saying that, she had a conversation with Harrison. It went very well. There is a romantic spark there. She gets giddy when she speaks to him. It's like she gets giddy when she speaks to anyone that's not available. That's the impression that I get. So you have The island is getting ready for the night. Obviously, people are in their couples and there's concerns about what's going to happen. Harrison is excited because of his chat that he's had with Helena, and so there's a possibility that he might take her to the hideaway. You then have Harrison at the fire pit with Connor, Harry, and Dijon, and he's talking about the fact that he wants to go for a chat with Helena, and he's thinking of taking her to the hideaway. And it's like, this is silly. It really is silly. And the hypocrisy in the villa is shocking, because I don't get why the boys didn't ask him to go and speak to Tony first. It would have made more sense for him to speak to Tony first, because otherwise it comes across as though he's been using Tony to hold the place while Helena was doing whatever nonsense she was doing. So you have Helena go and pull Jogo for a chat. She breaks things off. He takes it for what it is. I think he knew there was nothing there. I think he knew he was being brought to the villa to make Harry jealous. And sadly, that plan backfired because Harry didn't seem bothered by it. He didn't seem fazed by it. So even the way Jojo took it was interesting, that he didn't take it seriously. He just took it for what it was, gave her a hug and kept it stepping. And I have a feeling that the moment Jojo starts connecting with one of the other girls and seems to be getting serious, Helena is going to want him back. That's the impression that I get. Well, after that chat, the guys encourage Harrison that if he's going to go and take Helena for a chat, he needs to do it now, but he needs to be mindful that Tony is going to be very upset. He goes, he pulls Helena for a chat, and she is giddy and excited. And it's like, seriously, do you get a kick out of taking other people's guys? I don't get it. Anyway, they go to the hideaway for a chat. You have Tony saying this is weird because Helena is older than Harrison, and yet she is going with this little boy to the hideaway for reasons best known to her. On the day beds, you have Meg, Megan, and Emily. Meg starts saying, oh, I don't think I can keep quiet for too long. They can't keep saying that about Helena. They can't keep saying... And it's like, madam, you are the same person who dragged and was yelling across the villa at Militia for trying to explore a connection with your guy, but you want everybody else to bow down because suddenly it's your friend that's going to the hideaway. The audacity for Helena to go to the hideaway and kiss this boy, I don't get it. I think she gets a kick from seeing other people watch her and be angry. I think that gives her a rise. I don't know whether she really is interested in him or she likes the idea that she can rub it in Tony's face. When they come out of the hideaway, because while they were in the hideaway, Tony was being told by the girls that they are going to kiss. Yasmin actually said they are going to kiss. Alima knew that, Shakira knew that, but they were just trying to be supportive. Anyway, they come out of the hideaway. You have Harrison pull Tony immediately for a chat, and he lets her know, I've been to the hideaway. And she actually asked him that, why would you go to the hideaway? Why didn't you tell me? We had a date yesterday. I thought things were going great. Suddenly, now you're going to the hideaway with somebody else. Make that make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. It's very weird. And Tony is justified in her anger. For Helena to tell her to F off and say we're in the same house and wow, it's like, please. When you stole Harry from Shakira, you didn't care. But when Harry decided to go home to Shakira, you suddenly were aggrieved, and the whole of last week you were very bitter because you felt like Shakira had taken your man. Suddenly now the shoe's on the other foot. You do not care. You do not care about Tony's feelings. I didn't like that. And the sarcastic remarks that they made as Tony left the fire pit, because Tony said, we're over. I'm not going to put up with nonsense. And I love this. I love this, that the girls would rather be single and be vulnerable than to continue in a useless couple. So the fact that Tony told him that, I am not going to, continue with this nonsense. I don't want to be in a love triangle. We're done. We're over. This is something that Harrison didn't expect. I don't think Harrison expected to be dumped. We all know that the moment Harry said he's ready for Helena, she's going to dump Harrison. And sadly for Harrison, he's got no plan B because his plan B has just walked away from him. The comments that the girls made, Megan and Helena, I didn't like that. I really didn't like that. I thought it was very petty and inappropriate. You have Tony go to the fire pit for a chat with Helena. It was overdue. It was overdue because Helena needs to be called out. I'm happy that Tony said to her, if you had this done to you and you're not happy, why are you doing the same thing to me? Nothing was done to her because at the end of the day, Helena pulled Harry's leg while he was in bed with Shakira. And then Harry himself left her for Shakira because she tried to play stupid games thinking that that would win his affection. And he wasn't up for the game, so he went back where he felt comfortable. So no one played her. She just likes going after guys that are not available. I love the question. When you were kissing him, did you ever think that you could have something with a 22-year-old outside of the villa, and that 22-year-old lives in America? Irregardless of that, she's a flight hostess or whatever, stewardess. The fact that they live on different continents is enough for her to understand that it wouldn't work. And for Helena to say, oh, I didn't even think about that, it was just a kiss, that shows you that she's doing this for the attention. She's not doing it because she's got feelings. She's doing it for the attention. She's doing it to try and make Harry jealous. And because Harry is not biting, she is going to try and do everything within her power. Jojo didn't work, so she's going for the next best thing. Even Harry knows for a fact that, you know, he's her number one and he's not ready to go there. So it is what it is. It's really sad that somebody else has had to be hurt by this. So you have Helena storm off and you're having the girls, well, the clique saying, oh, you know, she doesn't like confrontation. She's not going to say anything. She's going to leave you to go mad by your own. Look at her walking away. And it's like, you're making it seem like what she's doing is a good thing. You called out people for doing exactly the same thing that she's doing now. But because she's the one who's doing it, it's okay. If it was anyone else, then it would be a big deal. I don't get it. You had Shakira pull Harrison for a chat. The audacity is of this woman to say, oh, why is she telling him off? Anyway, 22-year-old. And it's like, they are the same age. Maybe that's why they understand each other. So if you can see that Shakira is a 22-year-old, why can't you see that the guy Harrison is a 22-year-old as well? In my opinion, what's going to end up is Harrison, I foresee him ending up coupling with Shakira because they have this really cute bond. They really get along very well. And I think the only reason why they haven't explored the romantic side of that is because of Tony and Shakira are best friends. And I think this is why. And it was really kicking off. So production decided at that moment to stop the argument and send a text message to Jojo that said, please could all islanders gather around the fire pit immediately. And everybody was afraid because there's not that many romantic couples. Most people have broken up and are waiting to couple up with somebody else. Some people are exploring connections and they don't know where they stand. Anyway, the message comes through. It says, you know, the viewers have been voting for their favorite islander. It's then revealed the bottom 3 girls and the bottom 3 boys. The bottom 3 boys, I don't understand why Harry was there. Connor could have been there. Harrison could have been there. But they decided to put Harry there just for the drama, in my opinion. They just decided to put Harry there for the drama because a lot of people like Harry. So it doesn't make sense why he was there. Anyway, for the girls, you had Shakira and Tony. That doesn't make sense. Meg, it makes sense because of the issues that were happening with Tony. That makes sense. I'm surprised Emily wasn't there. So in my opinion, I feel like there was one vulnerable person and then they just randomly took people for the drama. And so when they stood at the fire pit, everybody, I think, assumed that they were going to decide who to save. And Megan thought she had it in the bag because the clique was there. She already had 3 votes, so she was good. And Shakira and sadly, with Tony, had 2 votes from Alima and Yasmin, which meant that they were outnumbered. I love the fact that they decided to go with public vote. And so public vote meant Remell was going home and also Megan was going home. The shock on Megan's face when she realized that the other Megan was going home was I don't want to be mean. It was interesting because they thought they had it in the bag. They thought they were going to be safe. And I think this is why the clique have maintained their group. The fact that you had once, you know, it was announced that she was going home, Meg was sort of trying to be comforted by Tony and Shakira since they were at the front. And as soon as her friends came, she then left them and went to her friends. And it's like, you people thought you had it in the bag. You really did. And sadly for you, it didn't work out that way. The viewers had their say, and I'm so happy that the viewers got to decide who was going home and who was staying. I can't wait to see what happens next. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 18. Bye guys.